This is not a review of Godzilla minus one. You can find that in plenty of places on YouTube and elsewhere. But as a film enthusiast, my understanding, or I'm trying to understand, uh, or try to help you understand why did this movie do so well. See, on the outset of it, it looks like any other MonsterVerse movie, right? And this year, if you start from the month of, May, there were two Godzilla movies, right? One was the with the Kong, your typical action fare, full of monster fighting each other, and the other one is this. But this Godzilla movie ended up winning an Oscar for visual effects, received a lot of critical acclaim for the story, the music, the acting, the script, and at the end of it also emerged as a box office winner. Made on a small budget of only $10 million, the movie ended up making over $100 million. It is surprising, not because of the fact that it's a movie made with a small budget, but in that small budget, the way the directors have brought to life Godzilla, the menacing, the threatening aspect of Godzilla that we haven't usually seen on the screen. The typical Godzilla monsterverse, Kong kind of movie is a lot of science fiction. Godzilla is portrayed as a good person, someone who works for the benefit of mankind, protects humankind, etc. Over here, Godzilla is a pure menace. And the other thing is, over here, you cannot clearly kill Godzilla. The multiple times people have tried to kill it in this movie, it just comes back. Even the bigger worrying factor is this happens in Japan right after the World War II ends. So Japan is in the process of rebuilding itself. It does not have a lot of technological or weapons resources at its disposal, which prevents it from fighting Godzilla with the effectiveness that they fought probably in World War II, right? With the full arsenal of weapons, aircrafts, destroyers, army, etc. Now, I think why this movie did so well is because this is not a typical monster movie, but it's a movie about winning, gumption, determination, and the will to survive. The protagonist has his guilt trip that he could not save a couple of lives, and now he wants to do so to prevent and the death of his family or safeguard his family, and that is the story of hope, which I think gives this movie the wings that it needs. Right from the onset, the first half will be a little slow, but the moment Godzilla is introduced to you in a very anticlimactic manner, you wonder if you're really going to stick through this movie. But stick around till the end of it to see the ingenuity with which people or the protagonists of this movie come together despite their differences to fight Godzilla. Another thing that probably does very well is the human elements, which is something that we don't get to see in the typical Monsterverse movie, which is all about high octane action and fancy visual effects. There are visual effects in this movie. Godzilla does have the nuclear breath, and you do watch the movie and you figure out how people fight with that challenge. And I really hope this movie gets a sequel so that we get to see how people do fight this challenge and how Japan is rebuilding itself in the post World War II era. Towards the end, I would like to say this, right? Typically, the perception is that with high octane film franchises, you really cannot add a human element to it. But this movie tells us that despite a high octane film franchise that is purely in Hindi terms a masala movie, you can truly have a good story backing it up. And you can have multiple variations of the movie. And this movie is a prime example of that. If you have not seen Godzilla Minus One, please do go watch it wherever you can. And this is a movie experience that you will love to watch with your family, with everyone around you, and you will truly, truly enjoy and connect with the movie in more ways than one.